All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Hope everybody had a great trading day today. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second, please. Da, 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 da. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, well, it's Thankful Thursday, everybody. Hopefully, everybody had a wonderful trading day today. So it was an interesting one. It was a wild one today. There was a another. Golly, I thought we were done with the V reversals at least until next year. Goodness gracious, today was an epic V reversal. So, pretty powerful stuff there today. We'll see if we get follow through tomorrow. If we do, likely all-time highs, but we'll see where we get from there. Before we get started, guys, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Do 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 do. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So guys, today we're gonna be continuing our series here on the emotions of trading. Let me actually get this tweeted out here too. 1 second. We are also. Oh, I wanted to get that one right there. Give me 1 sec, guys. Where did I post that earlier today? Give me 1 second. I'm also broadcasting to Share Vision. It's pretty cool. It's a platform. It's a video platform only for financial videos, right? So give me 1 second here, guys. Click that. Click this here. That's not what I was looking for. Give me 1 sec. It's complex here because Twitter's always take your stuff and let's see, and turns it into a new link. Hold on, guys. Where is it? Goodness gracious. Here. Okay, gotcha. All right, there. I'll be right there, guys. I'm trying to get this down to a science. We're getting there. Here, here, here. I think. And then for some reason, Twitter sometimes doesn't tweet stuff, but I guess it did it here this time, maybe. Okay, so we're also live on Sherwin. Cool. So good stuff, guys. Anyways, thanks for your patience there. So this week we're talking about the emotions of trading. So we've had fun this week. We talked about fear, right? We talked about greed. Yesterday we talked about euphoria. Today there's plenty of emotions that are involved right here, but today we're going to talk about confidence. So some pretty good stuff there. Like we said, everything's for educational purposes only and not investment advice. And we went over this disclaimer a little bit earlier. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through, take a look at where we left off in the market today. And then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening and what might be setting up going into tomorrow. And then we will go through the topic and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so like we said, guys, SPX here up about 15 points here today. Monthly chart green. Right, so still continuing to show its bullishness. Right, a couple months ago we had a bearish engulfing candle that barely got any downside follow through. We completely took out that candle last month, and we're getting some follow through here this month. We've been looking at the Bollinger Bands here on the monthly chart. They're starting to compress a little bit, so we may get a little contraction and then see some expansion maybe into next year or something like that. So we'll see how that goes over the next couple months. But in the meantime, still green and going. So this is the big one right here, right? So some folks I saw thought we hit all-time highs today, and it kind of felt like it with the epic reversal. But we're not quite there yet. We're basically just shy of all-time highs right here. We had the inside week last week. We're still inside that range. We tagged above it already this week and came back down, and we basically got to 50% of the range, and then we started to reverse off of it. And today really looked like it wanted to go, try to finish up this wave count, right? This kind of A, B, C-ish type count, but instead this is turning into like that's it, and here's your here's your wave one move, and it looked like we're gonna have a deeper wave two retrace in here, and they just didn't do it, right? So again, it just is what it is. Price always wins, right? No matter what, right? So like Brian Shannon says, right? So only price pays, right? We could be the best at coming up with cool Elliott wave counts and having great indicators and all that stuff, but price always trumps everything, right? So if it's going to move, and even we've done a lot of work with value areas, market profiles, and those are great, and they give you great levels to work with. But price is always gonna win, right? So no matter what, they give you frameworks, they give you ideas, right? And then when price starts to move, we have to be able to respond to that, right? So we need to be able to detect when the trend is changing, when things are moving. So today was a great example of that, right? So we were expecting a decent range today, but definitely was not expecting the V reversal type move on that. So just based on our wave count right from yesterday. So if we kind of zoom in here, this is what we were talking about yesterday, pretty decently. So one of the things that we could see here, right, is the clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. Right. Originally, we were thinking that hey, this was this was A, this was B, and then we ended up working our way up higher than that, invalidating that count. And then this would be wave C. We were expecting a wave C down maybe to the 382, and we just didn't get it. We ended up getting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this impulsive wave up. And then today we thought we were going to get a little bit more downside. That we are going to see like a very reasonably countable like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of like this type of move right here for the wave C of 2. We thought this thing was going to really start to push down, and we just didn't see that today. I mean, it is possible that this is a 1-2, right? Still haven't taken out this level, but for the most part, I see an ABC down here today. Again, this bearish candle right here definitely was the finish to a wave, right? It's pretty symmetrical with this move right here. So to me, it looks like wave C is in, and we're done with wave 2. So basically, this whole wave up here was wave 1. This is wave 2, ABC down. And now, if that is the case, right, then it looks like we've got a 1-2 in the works, and we could be working on wave 3 going into tomorrow. If that is the case, then all-time highs is really not that far away, right? So we just have to see how bullish they want to be going into tomorrow. So we're going to track that for sure. Now, tomorrow, guys, is option expiration. It's OPEX day. What does that mean? It means all the monthlies are coming off the board and all the weeklies are coming off the board, right? So it's typically there's some pinning shenanigans that go on. I really have never really found it too difficult to trade on OPEX day. Usually the setups are pretty clear. Today was actually one of the harder days to be like, okay, you go into today, you go into the price action here today. Let's take the S&P futures and we'll take a little bit of a closer look here. The price action intraday today was very bearish at the open, and we were leaning bearish, right? Because we were looking for that wave 2 down, and certainly looking for more of that price action. I mean, this, guys, we had multiple geometric lines right here. We broke down below these levels, and I have no doubt, right, no question, this is a great momentum move. We got short, everything's great, right? But the real thing is like, how, this V reversal stuff is just it's for the birds. Like it's crazy, right? I mean, it's fine, you can get in here, but like to expect a move like this is complete insanity, right? To expect a 618 retrace makes sense, but to expect more than 100% retrace on these moves, like within a short time frame, is within 2 hours, within an hour and a half, is so funny, right? So I mean, definitely with the drop here today, the 618 was very practical, and we got to this level right here. We had these double inside candles, right? Lots of upper shadows off of this level. I'm not saying get short. There was no setup to go short. We never confirmed down. But it's like, you would think that this thing would just kind of chop around here today, and then we would kind of get like an H patterns type stuff. Now, that's what I meant today by only price matters, right? A price always wins, right? You can think as much as you want, as much as Fibonacci's are cool, as much as like, this is the ABC right here. Now we're starting our next impulsive wave down, right? All this stuff, all the Fibonacci's, the Elliott wave, right? The harmonics, indicators, all it does is give a framework to what the madness of price, right? So, and when price is ready to move, it's going to move, right? And so that's exactly what happened today, right? So this is a great place to realize that there was a trend change, especially off of this candle right here. This thing is a monster. 22,000 contracts traded here at 11:30. Big push right there, and then just continue to work its way up. Once we cleared this high right here, the potential for this being a wave 2 intraday, right? Because we were looking here, right? So a 618 is a typical wave 2 move. 886 is really, really deep. And then anything, it could still be a wave 2 as long as it's not over 100%. Once we got over 100%, the bearish count was completely invalidated today. So, anybody that jumped on the live stream at lunch today, we were right here, right? So this is right during lunchtime, right here. We were during this move. I looked at, it was like 2 seconds later. I'm like, the market is flushing again. I was like, is it really happening? And then that's where you kind of have to use at least some of the rules of Elliott wave and be like, okay, well, the wave. This is not an impulsive wave down. If this started here, if we say like this off these upper shadows off of yesterday's high, right? Then I would be like, yeah, all right, this is just a big wave. Wave two, and we're going to see some really steep selling. But when it happened up here, I wasn't as worried about it, right? So because the wave two had been invalidated by taking out the wave one start, right? And so we just kind of saw this kind of a couple dip buys here today, and just kind of choppy, grindy action into the rest of the day. So, but this was epic, right? Huge V reversal, and again, I'm not saying that there wasn't any setups here. I mean, there definitely was, right? We had a bull flag right here, for a pretty decent move, but once it went past symmetry, right, that's where things got a little bit wild, right? So let me just activate this, and I'll just push this flag pattern right here, right? Once we push back past symmetry, right, that means something else. There were forces at work here that were so much more bullish than symmetrical setups, chart patterns, things like that. This is just um, uh, you know irrational exuberance, right? To kind of push its way up, right? So that kind of made its move today and just gave us that type of price action here at the end of the day. So, but pretty cool stuff. I mean, it was interesting too because the banks were weak today, right? They were pretty weak today. The small caps were weak. Maybe this is a little bit of a rising wedge right here going into tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm still generally thinking we probably chop, and before you know it, we're going to be like right at all-time highs right there going into tonight and into tomorrow. So those are kind of the big things that are on the radar. So anyway, good stuff. Again, choppy price action here tonight. So again, just kind of keep an eye on your geometric lines. Like you kind of keep an eye on this here tonight and see how that holds, and we'll go from there. So good stuff. All right, let's get to the topic. So this week, like we said, we've been talking about the emotions of trading. We talked about fear. We talked about greed. We talked about euphoria. Today, we're going to talk about confidence. So this is the sweet spot, right? This is the sweet spot of trading right here. Where not only are you confident in your ability to perceive and see a setup and evaluate your risk reward. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, here on the S&P, you can see here on the futures, right? You can see this bull flag right here. We looked at the symmetrical move, right? So what would our risk be, right, if we got long on the breakout of the flag, right? So the risk of this would be, right? So once we got out of the breakout of the flag right here, the risk would be the bottom of the flag, right? So here's your risk. Right, and where's your reward? Your reward's up here, right? So clearly, based on the flagpole is always going to have a good risk reward. You just have to know where your stop is, and that's exactly what happened, right? So we got a nice push up right here. We had a good move, and that is a confident trader who believes in that we held a nice level right here after an over sold move, right? Would expect to bounce to the upside. Right, and then at least to the 618, right? That's kind of like the area that we got to, and that was precisely it, right? And so a little bit of an overshoot there for the symmetrical move is good, but it just kept on going, right? So the idea is as a confident trader is to know that, hey, these markets reverse, right? And these markets are prone to reverse, and and look for the setups, right? So if you're short in this area, be confident that, hey, this can move against me. Price can do whatever it wants to, right? And so that's the difference between being run by our emotions in the market and being confident not only in our setups and our strategies, but also having the confidence too, not just to take trades, but also to take profits, right, and to exit when there's a clear trend change, right? And that's exactly what we looked at here today with this, right? When this the V reversal, it's like, is it possible that there's a V reversal? Yes, always in this market. Does it usually happen after a sharp down move? Yes. Does it happen at typical support levels? Yes. Does it happen when oscillators are oversold? Yes, right? And so at that point here, you look for your moves, and and here, if you're short here, right, you look for where you got in. Let's say you got in here on this this kind of mini flag breakdown right here, right? Once you get to this level, right, you've got to at least know once this thing goes that to be able to trail it down, right? And so so very similarly, right, like we talked about earlier, just activate this, and here's your flag. Oh goodness, lots of lines on here. So here's your flag right here. So this is the profit zone right here, right? And anything beyond there, like I said, beyond euphoria, right, is a good move. Right now, is there potential for more downside? Yes. Was there potential for an H setup? Yes. Did it happen? No. And then do you also, while you're in a trade, if you're in a trade here short on this one, do you also have to look for patterns? Yes. Is it possible here that you're basically just break even on this trade if this flag pattern ends up playing out? Yes. Right. So do you take the confidence to take profit here, and then and then allow yourself to be stopped out of the rest, or do you get stubborn, right? And then get the fear going on, right? So it's all about confidence in trading. And I'm not saying where it's the point where it's like you're just blindly I'm not saying just build up your courage and be like, yeah, I'm going to go long. I'm talking about building that calmness, that coolness of mind, where we're not reacting, right? We're not allowing our senses to take the better of us, and we understand, and we're seeing how the market is changing dynamically in time and in price. And once we can do that, right, that's a huge advantage to trading, and gives us great opportunities, not just for protecting or preserving a current trade we're in, but also looking for other trades, like the reversal trade, right? Things like that, and being responsive to the market. And again, we talk a lot here about day trading, guys, like we have here. Like we talk a lot about the intraday price action, but this all applies too on the bigger time frames. But just a lot of us just like the intraday price action, right? So but this applies to all time frames, right? So if this were a daily chart, it wouldn't be any different, except this takes an entire day to go up right here. It takes an entire day to go. It gets these moves going on, right? So anyway, so good stuff, guys. I think we covered a bunch here on emotion. So really appreciate everybody for being a part of the series here this week. Don't worry, guys. The thoughts are not going to end here. Stay tuned for Saturday. Like I said, we've got trading composure. We did a great interview the other day, podcast style. I'm going to release that video on Saturday. I think Saturday is a good day for it because it gives us an opportunity, folks that are maybe home and just kind of taking a break to watch some really important stuff. And he's really got some amazing stuff to say. And I learned a lot just from talking to him because he gave some perspectives that I never even really kind of imagined, right? As a certain way to handle some emotions or some trading psychology questions. So be sure to tune in on Saturday. I'll make sure I tweet it out, and we'll get that released there probably like Saturday, morning at some point. So be sure to check that out. And then of course on Sunday we'll be going live again for the Elliott Wave Show with Paul, and we'll actually be talking about the psychology of waves too. So it's good. We're really kind of doing all sorts of trading psychology stuff this week. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. Anyway, good stuff there, guys. So good. So let's take some questions and chart requests. If you got any, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. Let me go to the daily chart here. Flanning, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Let's see what you got here on the radar. So what's going on with coin? Let's take a look. So coin, as I recall, had a rough day today. So yeah, there it is. So coin, interesting, right? So we had this recent kind of pre-flag breakout right here. Got really, really tight at the 80 MA. Worked its way to the upside and got a big push right here. Hanging man reversal up there. And really, honestly, at this point, just basically like a flag breakdown, right? So kind of have this going on here, right? Kind of flaggish. And, it's a pretty steep drop initially. So what we do is we'll just take a look here and see. So we got this. All right, we'll duplicate that. And we'll just add this right here to the top of the flag. So yeah, so this thing looks like it could work its way down to this this level here. This is prior resistance, right? Which could serve as support, right? We consolidated around that area for a little bit, and then we started to get going. Nice breakdown day right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pause day on this one and kind of work its way down. This could be kind of a 1-2. Maybe we'll see like if we want it, if it is going to work its way down. My guess though is that this is an A. This is a B, and it's probably going to work on wave C on this one right here. And then we'll see if it works its way up. So see how it handles 320 and then 310. That's probably the next level down that I would look at on that one, especially with this big breakdown and big volume on it. So definitely want to keep an eye on there too. Bitcoin down 600, so also keep an eye on Bitcoin as well. So you can kind of keep an eye on that too. One thing we could do, we've been looking at here is the correlation of, let me go ahead and add this on here, the correlation with the TNX, right? The 10-year and Bitcoin, right? They basically go hand in hand. I just want to see how it looks here if we can get it correlated here on this chart. There it is. So yeah, it's kind of interesting stuff, right? So here's the again, it's not really perfect right here, but you see we had a bunch of gobbledygook, and then the 10-year started to work its way up, and then ultimately coin started to work its way up, right? And then the 10-year started to drop down, right? And coin started to work its way down. So so could be a could be oops, I got rid of that cool flag right there. So keep an eye on the 10-year. It could be a nice leading indicator here for coin. So that's definitely want to keep an eye. I lost the whole flag thing. Anyway, so we got this, 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 right, and then pretty much this move like kind of right down to this area right here. So it's pretty sloppy anyway. Anyway, so nice breakdown there. So that's what we're looking at that. Okay, but look at A, B, C, and then look for an impulsive wave up. But keep an eye on the 10-year for any of these Bitcoin names, right? So pretty cool stuff there. And Shirley sent a few in here via email. So guys, anybody that's not a part of our group, obviously we pointed out Amazon this morning. I was trying to look at some spreads on that one that were a little bit tricky intraday, especially when the market was flushing. And one of the things with Amazon is that it worked. It was in a world of its own today, and it actually gave some pretty nice setups intraday too. But let's take a look at Amazon here on the daily chart. But anybody who looks at this, the bigger picture on this one, if anybody is a part of our group, obviously you get the bubble report every morning. But even our bubble report only subscribers, great job here on Amazon today from Paul in our group. I mean, he just had this on the L8 wave count today. He's like, this thing looks like it's ready to go. And it was pretty cool too. It came right off of a red candle right here. But once we took out those candles off of this kind of compressed flag area, what a breakout here, a geometric breakout here on Amazon today. Just incredible, incredible stuff. Huge volume on this. This is like one of the only FANG names that hasn't quite made it to all-time highs yet. And we've had a harmonic on this one here for a while. Right, we talked about it in our last harmonic series, right? So we've got here, 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 and we're basically working on this harmonic, the CD wing up right here. So the target on this one is, because of the retrace, is the 1.618, right? And that's basically near all-time high. So we'll see how it handles that up there, and then we might see a little bit of a pullback on it. Let's see what kind of action we get tomorrow. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we got a big tag to this level right here, and then we ended up with a shooting star pattern, and then it ended up working its way down to like a 382 retrace. So that's something to keep an eye on there too. So yeah, nice find on Amazon there. Tilray. So Tilray is interesting. So Tilray, really nasty candle here today. It's kind of at some support here. Right? This is probably the hardest part about this candle because it's really bearish, right? But it's right at this candle's low right here, right? So that's a interesting area of support. And so of course, what does it do after hours? It's up. And why is it up? Because Germany, I'm not sure if the notes are on here. Yeah, Germany's set to legalize marijuana nationwide after major parties reach agreement. So whereas Montana rescind marijuana industry employment CBD restrictions, I guess. Okay, so I guess that's bullish. But anyway, so yeah, let's move to Germany. Just kidding. But and we got states here that have this stuff legal, and it's going really great over there. Everybody's like, bleh. So anyway, so Tilray kind of grinding its way up here after hours on the Germany news because they actually have a manufacturing facility in Germany. But I would say the trickiest part here with Tilray is, even though as bearish as the sector is, right, that was one of the big things that we looked at here was the weakness of the sector. Right, look at that. Bearish engulfing candle working here on the weekly chart. Nasty. Now the sector itself was super duper weak, right? So we got that going on. So Tilray is okay, right? Is moving because of the move right there. Actually, CGC was right at a level here too. I'm not sure if it's moving here after hours. Yeah, up a little bit right here. But generally overall, the sector is pretty bearish. So let's see what happens going into tomorrow. It could be pretty interesting. So good find on that one. And then you got the big C. Let's take a look. So the big C with a big drop here today. Goodness gracious! Wow, that has some room to go. Woo, that's a bearish one right there. Good one to keep on the radar. Wow, we need to add that to the bearish radar for tomorrow if it wants any more downside fall. That was just nasty. Good find on that one. And then you got what else? Affirm. Back down, but it is holding its 50 days, so keep that in mind there too. So and Fubo. Let's take a look. So Fubo, again, big breakdown on this thing. Wow, this thing lost some major support here today, too, with increasing volume. So that's another weak name, too. Wow, good finds on both of these. Look for continued weakness in these. And then Roku, guys, I don't know if anybody's asking about that one here yet, but Roku is a pretty big one here today. Of course, yesterday was a red candle. So Kathy Wood tried to buy the dip on that one again yesterday, and it's down another 3% here today. I mean, just gotta stop doing that. So again, when the 80 EMA is under the 50-day and under a declining 50-day and a declining 200-day, this is a bearish, not bullish. So anyway, so we actually shorted. We pointed out a nice short in Roku today, and gave a good move at the open. We pointed out a nice short on Facebook today, gave a nice move at the open. Put a nice short on the market today, gave a nice move at the open. Then of course that V reversaled, and then we pointed out Amazon long. We pointed out Apple long today. Apple was an amazing breakout today. Just so much amazing stuff today. But anyway, great stuff. Shirley, really appreciate it. I hope you're doing great out there. J Moss, what's going on? Good evening. Yeah, so Apple again, incredible, right? All-time high. So Apple was lagging the market, right? So we got this nice. We talked about this one last night, and y'all asked me here, basically, how yesterday's candle looked. Well, obviously sideways cup and handle right here. We were concerned about the upper shadow. We were generally bullish on it. I said if you were long yesterday and you had some runners on it, right, they'd be okay to hold, right? Obviously they went really good today. Now if you didn't, that's fine too, because today gave plenty of opportunities on this one, right? So again, it was all about this, right? So you had the do your wave counts intraday, right? So one, A, B, C, two, right? Breakout, wave three, right? Wave four triangle, wave five finish right here, and that's it. That's done, right? That's the end of the way, and then you just kind of got the rest of the gobbledygook afterwards, some sort of like running flat or whatever the case is there. So, but anyway, a nice impulsive wave intraday today. We pointed this out in our group. We talked about it on the live stream at lunchtime. This. And this ended up being a great trade today. It was really good, right? So you got this right here. So we talked about this today in the 1 minute chart, right? When does volume become significant? Right. Well, it becomes significant when you're trading at 87,000 shares, and then the next candle you're at 1.7 million. Right. That's huge on the 1 minute chart. Right. So that was definitely more than just a little blip on the radar. Right. So someone was pushing this thing, and that we pointed out the 155 call activity today. I mean, really incredible. I mean, it was like 120 something thousand open interest, which is big to begin with, and then today it was already like when this trade happened, it was already 200 something thousand. That's huge. They were piling into Apple today. They pushed this thing today. So that was a big move on Apple. Incredible move. Let's see if it continues to get some follow through the upside again. This was the lagger between most of the FANG names, that and Amazon, and both have been catching up, and both have had a nice bullish harmonic pattern, right? So we talked about this a couple weeks ago here, right? So we got all the way to the 2.618 here today, and some follow through. And if it really wants to, it could work its way up to the finish a crab pattern right here to the 3.618 around the 162 area. So that's definitely a good one to keep an eye on too. So nice job there. Snap, again, blah, still under the ADMA on this one, but good stuff there, J Moss. Really appreciate it. Good to see you. And Otas, what's going on? Yeah, my pleasure. Yay! Everybody took care of it. I love it. Good stuff. Hope you're doing great and doing well. Otas, let's take a look. So you got a couple of other names on the radar. So we got Shop. So really the big thing we need to do, guys, is look at Shop and see if they're going to do a stock split, right? Because right now it's trading at just ridiculous levels. But it is consolidating here nicely. It did a little bit of an inside day up here today, but kind of ran into that the pennant high that we were looking at, and ended up basically using that level there. So let's see how that holds. But again, look to see if it can continue to consolidate and see if it works its way up. If it does, that would be an epic triangle breakout move. Etsy, let's take a look. Etsy doing its thing inside day here. So again, still grinding its way up to ADMA, and Chewy. Still within that flag pattern right here, so let's just wait for it to see if it'll break out. I mean, one thing we could do is just see if it bounces off of the bottom of the 50-day moving average and the bottom of the flag, as long as it's within a couple days. Otherwise, look for a breakout there and see if it can break out of the cloud. And let's take a look at John Deere. So Deere actually gapped up today on, I guess, like the strike news, right? So there was folks who they finally got they figured out their contracts for all their union workers who were striking, right? And it gapped up, but it just look at that. See that selling pressure right here? Upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, right into that, right into that resistance right there, and then boom, back down to the ADMA on that one. So it just retreated right off. There were still sellers sitting up there. It needed a gap above those levels at least to kind of get going, right? So good stuff there. And then Disney, let's take a look. So Diz, again, this thing is just getting crushed here still. Where is this thing? Where does this thing want to go? Let's take a look. Let's look at the weekly. Whew. Okay, so we lost some big weekly levels here. That was an important level for it to hold. Really, the next level I would say is kind of like where we consolidated right here. We want to see how that holds. This is we're actually sitting right at prior weekly resistance here. So this is a possible, see that resistance area? That could now become support. That's an interesting area. If we break down from there, right, we got these guys here. I know it looks like I'm just drawing even lines. And then we got the gap. The gap's a big one, right? And so from there, we just have to see. These are actually very, very evenly used lines right here. So we just have to see how it holds. It's a tough area. I would say my favorite area right now is that we see how it holds right now. and below there you've got 140. A put spread to 140 would be something to look at, or the gap. But this is nasty on this is the weekly chart, so you'd have to go a little bit farther out. And anyway, not looking good. A little bit of a lower shadow on that today, but I wouldn't force it. So it's at an interesting level. If we get a green candle and get some more volume coming into it, it could be interesting. So, but again, they had rough earnings, right? I mean, they're right now, the big thing that they're looking at for income on this is, Disney Plus, and they're struggling with it. Well, a little bit, right? So I don't know about you guys, but I canceled my Disney Plus as soon as we finished binge watching, all the Mando stuff and everything. So, without Mando, right, Disney Plus is like blah. I mean, the original content is kind of like blah. That was really good, right? I'm not sure how good the Boba Fett one's gonna be. I looked at the preview; it was okay. I might resubscribe to check that one out, and if I don't like it, I might unsubscribe. But we'll see. It's always fun to see that stuff. But again, that they're limited in that. Um, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, notice how it went down after Mandalorian was off the air. So it's like, I wonder why. Anyway, good stuff there, and appreciate it, Otas. So no rush. We are here as always. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I hope you had a great day too. Really appreciate it. Tracy, what's going on? Good evening. Let's take a look at Pan W. Let's take a look at Pan W. Is everything still broadcasting here? Okay. Yeah. Make sure everything coming through okay here. Lost the stream there a little bit on. Oh no, it came back through. Let me see. Hold on. That was it. Share Vision. I was just waiting to see here. It looks like we lost it there a little bit. No, it looks okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so Palo Alto. Let's take a look at this one. Hanging in there. We got a green candle here over the ADMA here today. So kind of doing okay there, right? AMD again. I thought this was going to turn into a green candle day. It gave us a good opportunity at the open and just didn't get any follow through later. But it did give a decent dip by today. Nvidia. Red candle here today, kind of, just kind of gap and pause a little bit. Let's see if it consolidates up here and continues to hold these levels. And Nvidia's just been epic, guys. I mean, lesson learned. With all these big names, especially the ones that have profit, like Nvidia, that do these stock splits. Like for me, just buy and hold it. My goodness, this thing's already back up to 330 from what it was like, wherever it stock split down to like 200 again, right? So if Shopify has like a, I don't know, 1 to 10 stock split, right? One, it'll probably go up again before it, and then two, it's probably gonna rip again after. I mean, because this market is just so crazy, right? It's just so crazy. Everything is so lofty, but it is what it is for now. Right, and it's so funny. We joke around today because it's like all the negative news that comes out. It's like Russia's like angry. The talks didn't really go that well with China today, right? There's all this other stuff that's out there, and it's like when the market's going up, it's like all right, cool, whatever. But when the market's going down, that stuff takes a whole new tone to it. It's like, oh my goodness, Russia's really mad at us. Oh no, China trade deal's not working, right? Oh no, right? So but when the market's going up, yeah, whatever. so anyway, some pretty cool stuff there. And then let's say we have PayPal. PayPal, again, I'd be careful with this name, right? I'm really not ready for this. This is very, very similar to like what Kathy's doing with Roku. ADMA is down, 50's under the 200, everything's declining. I'm not saying we're not going to see some bounces, but let's look for some real strength, right? To show that this thing is really trying to make a move. So keep an eye on that one. And then Mr. Softy, let's take a look there. Good to see you, baby. Mr. Softy with fresh all-time highs today and beautiful candle holding the ADMA on that one. And then Ted, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You got Bros on the radar. Dutch Bros. Yeah, weak, right? So this thing's in cascade mode here now. It's a tough area to hold. It looks like all rips are shortable here under the ADMA. If you see this, like we saw this today on BABA pre-market. When you see this stuff pre-market, usually things are pretty serious, right? So here, like that type of, that real cascadey look to it, just got that nice downside. We've seen this on a lot of names. Disney the other day, Facebook this morning. This is why we got short this morning on Facebook here. Look at that. Look at that pre-market, and it just is dropping. So I mean, you gotta jump in, right? Fast trade, but fun. But other than that, guys, good stuff. So this has been a fun week this week. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this series. I'm getting all emotional just thinking about it. But anyway, seriously, guys, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Be sure to check out the bubble report and the newsletter, and stay tuned for this weekend. We're going to go over more good stuff here today as well. I did want to show you one more thing here about the ChatterQuant, guys. I know I tend to profile this here about every evening, but let me get this pulled up here and just show you guys. Give me 1 second here. This, and let's see here, in there. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so ChatterQuant today, guys. This we've been using this one in our group. It just we look for if I see anything good that looks interesting, if I see a good chart on this, I let the group know. Today we obviously have unusual discussion volume here on AMAT after hours. Is this thing? Yeah, AMAT after hours. Tilray. It was pretty interesting here, kind of going into the close, right? You've got the Germany stuff going on. Maybe there's some chatter about that. DWAC was busy today. TRX. I mean, we had a couple names that were pretty interesting here today. Apple, right, was a big one, right? So that was another big one right here. Again, right on the radar when things were breaking out off of that name, helped key us into things. And just the kind of one thing we talked about here today was Pfizer, and I just kind of want to wrap up with that here today. So that just kind of is, adds to the confidence feel of everything, right? So with a name like Pfizer, one of the things it was, and ultimately it was a sell the news opportunity, but this is one of the first names that we pointed out this morning with relative strength kind of going into today, right? And so, you look at yesterday's candle, it was super strong, right? And our next target was the 51.35, and I believe this is one of the first ones we talked about this morning, and it just you can't see it here on the 15-minute chart, but in terms of morning momentum, once we cleared this pre-market high here today, this turned into a great trade, right? And gave us a nice move here just to the upside, just trading the morning momentum. Now, guys, morning momentum typically doesn't tell you, at least in the first 5-15 minutes, doesn't tell you the direction of the day, and it oftentimes doesn't give you clues, but you have to realize that right at the open, things can move really quick, and then people take profit really quick too, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? So we got that going on, and so we pointed that out on Pfizer this morning. That gave us, and having the confidence in that, and knowing that daily chart was really helpful today. And of course, there was a V reversal on this one as well. Reed, what's going on? Good to see you. And then we've got Pandemia, Tracy. So there was some movement after hours earnings. Let's take a look. Yeah. So a big spike here after hours. We're kind of right back in range here at the 529 level. Again, this is a tough name to day trade, but it looks like we're right up around here. So again, there's a chance here. If it would have to get over the after hours highs to give me like any gap and go confidence, but it still might have some strength going into tomorrow. And then Bebe, yeah, we looked at Mr. Softy just a little bit ago. Sorry if I called it Mr. Softy instead of Microsoft, but yeah, we're fresh all-time highs today and holding the ADMA, so generally still bullish overall. But anyway, guys, good stuff. So check out ChatterQuant too. There's a link in the description, and be sure to check out our group too. We'd love to have you there, at least for the bubble report, but definitely in our group because it's so much fun. And if you enjoy these live streams, right, imagine going live with us every day, right, in the morning and during the day. So anyway, so good stuff. I hope everybody has a great evening. We'll see you guys here on YouTube bright and early tomorrow morning for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe. See you